Welcome back to another episode of the Nothing Savvy Sports Podcast. I am your host, Trent, and as always, my two co-hosts, Anthony and Taylor. And we got a surprise for everybody out there, Jace Halter, the first guest appearing on Nothing Savvy Sports Podcast. Say hello, Jace.
You're welcome for me being here.
Wouldn't expect anything less. All right. All four of us are in a fantasy football league together. Three of us have been in it since, I think I joined in 2011. Taylor and Jace have been in there since 2007 and 8. And Anthony just joined us last year. We just had our draft. It was a good one. I guess it was all of ours. No, Anthony was in it last year. So each one of us had done it at least 2 to 3 times in auction draft. So none of us are really that new to it, but it was the first time we had every single person at the draft on time for the start of the draft. So that was huge.
A thing of beauty.
It was a thing of beauty. But anything y'all want to take away and ask or start it off with in the draft before we get going?
I'd like to say something. I'm just glad that it's gaining traction, and hopefully we can do it all in person next year and make a trip out of it.
I would be down for that. That's what they talked about it, and I was like, if we started talking about it now, I feel like if we planned it during this season, it would be a lot easier to do than to like get through the whole season and then start trying to plan it, because then everybody would try to bail out or not. But I think the earlier the better. And then I don't know about a golf trip. I love golf, but that's like a 3-day thing. I'm looking for like a Vegas trip type thing, like fly down or drive down, come back the next day type of thing. But
how is that Vegas? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
what do you mean? You never stay in Vegas longer than 3 days.
The golf trip was like literally go somewhere and we're just hanging out for the weekend. One of the days you just happen to be playing golf, and then the other day is drafting. I mean, it wasn't like it's not a golf trip like where you're going to play like 72 holes or something. Like, I mean, it's literally one round of golf.
I don't know, man.
We'll be lucky if we would make 18.
It was funny that you said
go
on a golf trip.
you're like, I don't know, a golf trip might be too intense. I'd rather go to Vegas. What?
No, not Vegas. I'm saying Vegas trip style, not like go to Vegas. But I mean, Vegas would be cool too. Go stay at the MGM, do the draft like in the lobby. No, I'm joking.
You're asking a lot there, Trent.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
I honestly think the golf thing was pretty. I mean, it just seems kind of like a chill weekend. Like, just go hang out, do that, draft, head back home. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Vegas would be absolutely insane. That would be hard to get people to go to.
Wasn't saying Vegas.
No, it wouldn't.
He said Vegas. I don't think
everybody would make it back.
Just put the whole $1,200 pot on either black or red, and if we win it, then great. If not, it's
then
a
we're
free
playing
league that
something.
year.
Yeah.
Dude,
that year there's a big
color with a good time.
The rest of it goes into the pot. Oh man, I was gonna say, yeah, that would be. But yes, I do agree. A destination for our draft would be awesome. We've never done one with this group, I don't think. Since I've been here, we haven't. I don't know if y'all did one at the beginning or not.
No.
I do know that I saw a TikTok where this guy found like all of his old drafts, because I guess he used to own the league, and he had like every single draft board from like the 90s, like 10 years worth of freaking draft boards. And I was like, dude, that's insane.
Love that.
Yeah, it was super awesome. But yes, Wednesday night was our draft. It started off a little differently than what we thought it would when we first talked about it. But at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year, we talked about how running backs might not have been the most popular picks, but I think it started off. The first pick was a running back, was it not? Was it CMC? Or was it Justin?
He was the highest paid.
Yeah.
CMC was the highest paid.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor was elected first by Taylor.
Bold
Okay,
strategy.
see, yeah. So
I
talked
really was
about
hoping that I was hoping that somebody would or that nobody would bid on him. That it would just be one of those things where he'd go for like $3, and then like, yeah, I'll take a guy who might not play this year on my roster for $3. Maybe.
We still have a few guys though that don't pay attention that remember Jonathan Taylor though.
But none of those guys. Keller was the one that ended up getting him, and he knows that he's sitting out. He was just like, "No, I'll spend $10 on Jonathan Taylor." So it was whatever. It was a fun little first nomination.
Yeah, that's what I said. I wanted to talk to y'all about this too. Did y'all think during the draft that the throwing someone out there screwed up other people's strategies, or made people go way earlier than they should have, or way cheaper than they should have? Because there was a couple of times I was like, why is that guy up on the board right now? And then he would go and I'd be like, that seems like he went under his value, or God, that guy was there. They paid way too much for that guy.
I think what I mentioned earlier a few months back, whenever Taylor first changed the league settings to where we're going to have an extra flex, and I pointed out that, hey, should everybody's inherent value go down now that we have an extra flex? And you guys were kind of indifferent and thought that it wouldn't. I think that based on what I saw, the values that some of these players are going for, like way cheaper in the middle rounds, like Amon Ra going for $40, he easily should have gone for 50. And there were some other discounts that I saw where just none of us could afford them anymore. There was like 2 people who had enough money to get them, so they just got crazy discounts. And I think that kind of showed that we probably should have bid a little bit less. I don't know. What else do you guys think about that?
I thought some guys went cheaper than they should have. That's why I wanted to bring that up. But I don't know. It could have been the flex thing. It could have been what we got. What did we get rid of? We got rid of defense. No, we didn't get rid of defense, did we?
Yeah,
no, we did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
no defense, no kickers.
That's right. Yeah. So I've done so many drafts. I'm like, I just can't keep up. But yeah, we got rid of defense, and I think that made some people go maybe earlier or later than they should have. Got some people cheaper. I know I was seeing some guys go for cheap, and then I overpaid for almost every single one of my players, just because.
You were too set in stone on some of them, dude.
Oh yeah, and
you went crazy on some of those.
Yeah, that reminds me. Jace texted me during the draft, and he wanted to talk about everybody's sticky note player. Like, who did you write down, slap it on your computer, and you were like, no matter what, I'm grabbing this guy for any amount of money?
First of all, I think me and Durbin forgot that there was so many extra flex positions with the bidding war we had with McCaffrey. And he was actually one of my sticky note players, and I still let him go. So I'm not sure how that happened, but congrats, Durbin, on that. It didn't happen in my other fantasy leagues, but some other sticky note players I had, and I have really no rhyme or reason. First one was Lamar Jackson. I may have overpaid him, depending on how many of the average prices you look at on ESPN and Yahoo drafts. And then Quentin Johnson on the Chargers. For some reason, I felt like I saw enough out of him last year at TCU that I think he could maybe do something this year.
What was Lamar Jackson's, I don't even know what you'd call it, amount, I guess, ADP amount?
It was about 23, and you only paid 22. So
I was going to say, I feel like you got him. Yeah,
I feel like I value.
Bargain.
Bargain. Yeah. I was going to say, like, my sticky note guy was Garrett Wilson, because before Jace was, I don't know if you listened to this podcast, but we talked about how every year I get a duo.
We literally said you would get that one, or Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown.
We were not way off. We had that. Pegged.
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted the duo. Garrett Wilson was on. Like, I wasn't going to let him go, but it happened the way I wanted it to. I said I wanted to spend around $50 to $55 on my first 2 players, and if I could get them for 50, then I'd be okay. And I got Josh Jacobs for 52. And then I got Garrett Wilson for 51. So, and then I was like, I'm done for a little bit. So I just let it go. And then I felt like I screwed up, because I was sitting there with all this money. I had I can't remember how much I had after that. We have 300 or 200.
200.
I had like 98 or something like that after that, or 97, and we went, and it kept going and going and going, and I was like, I screwed up. Like I'm not even going to be able to do anything, and I felt like I had the most amount of money for like a majority of that.
I was wondering
that
what you were doing for a
draft.
while, dude, but I couldn't, since I was
I
at that
know.
hibachi restaurant, I got screwed almost, and Travis Etienne got nominated. I went and looked at a text message, came back. I was high bidder at like $29. I was like, oh crap, would have ruined my whole draft because I only had like $80 left.
Yeah.
But I was wondering what you were doing for a while, because you just had $130 or $140, something crazy, and you
I know,
weren't
I
bidding
had
on
that-
anybody, and then you just started throwing crazy money at like George Pickens and Hollywood Brown and all these like
No.
good players, but
Where
you
did
waited
George
so
Pickens
long.
go?
I was wondering where your money was gonna go.
So Kale Haas, or Haas, however you say his name, that dude, I have a bone to pick with you, okay? I don't know if we just wanted the same players or you really just wanted to like pick at me or whatever, but it felt like it. Like everybody that I wanted, he was bidding them up. And George Pickens was one of them. His value was like $7. And I was like, I'll go one over that because I have more money than he does. He had like 20 something dollars left and I had like 40 or 30. And we went to bidding, and then I bid 8 or 9 or whatever. And then he went up again. And I was like, oh, he's not going to let this guy go. So I just kept going. And then he bid one more time and put it to 14 and I let it go. And I was like, yeah, you can have him. I'm going to bid you up for this now. But I was like, why are you on me? Like it was him and Brookshire's. I don't know if it was just a happenstance thing or what, but that was frustrating. I'm not going to lie. But yeah.
I think Trent is pretty predictable as far as with Garrett Wilson narrative there. That's 100% a Hard Knocks pick.
I didn't pick him because of Hard Knocks.
Yes,
I picked
it
him
is.
because
That's exactly why you became a Lions fan all those years ago.
that is not no. The Lions fan was a Madden tournament in high school, is why. And then I fell in love with Calvin Johnson, and then Sue went there, and it kind of just took a snowball effect after that. But no, it was not Hard Knocks. But
Sure, Jan.
I don't think I had a yellow sticky note guy. I can't honestly, I came into the draft thinking I usually come into our auction draft with the strategy of sit back and watch everybody spend the $70, the $60 payrolls, and then try to catch the value that comes from that. And the wide receivers were flying off the board like way higher than I wanted to pay for anybody. And as I saw that start to happen, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to grab like 2 or 3 really reliable running backs that I can really count on, because I'm not gonna have one of the big name wide receivers of the year, and I need to come out of here with one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft. And so at a midway point in the draft, I gained a sticky note player, I guess, and it was I'm either going to get Josh Allen or I'm going to get Patrick Mahomes, one of the two. And when Patrick Mahomes came up, that's when I was just like, okay, I'm just going to keep bidding. I'm going to finish this thing with Pat Mahomes, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I knew I was going to be getting value or going like for value picks on wide receivers, so I knew I had to really pay money for running back and quarterback if I was going to do that.
What were you willing to go
scared
up?
now because Travis Kelce could be more hurt than we think he is with the hyperextension?
I think Pat Mahomes could have us as a wide receiving core and still throw for 5,000 yards. That's how good he is.
That's a bold statement.
I'm down.
I ran the other day and it hurt. It hurt a lot to sprint.
Well, it's hurting Kelce right now too.
All he has is Kelce, and he still just goes out there and dominates. I don't think that he really needs anybody. And so like there was a part where I was like, should I try and snag one of these Chiefs wide receivers? And I think I ended up grabbing Kadarius Toney, but like even then I was just like, meh. I don't really want to pair him up with somebody because you never know who is, except for Travis Kelce, you never know who his top guy is going to be.
You got
Kadarius Toney and then Rashee Rice.
But I think I already got rid of Rashee Rice.
Gotcha.
So
Anthony?
what were you? What was too expensive for you on the receivers? Because for me, I went into the draft. The only receiver that went for around the value I thought they would go for, even though they were out of my price range, was Justin Jefferson going for 71. Because whenever I started bidding for Tyreek Hill, I think you guys could feel free to disagree. I think I got probably the second best value for a top guy at Tyreek Hill at $55. And then the person who I think had the best value was Austin Eckler at 56.
I
Whoever
mean,
Saquon UC, whoever that team is.
they got
They,
CD Lamb for 45.
Yeah, but I think Tyreek Hill is worth $10 plus more than CD. Tyreek can score 350 points this year. No way CD's coming close to that.
I don't know, man. You got to remember,
Fighting words.
Dak did not play 6 weeks last year. That's what I keep going back to because I keep thinking the same thing. And then I'm like, he was out for 6 games. And I know Cooper Rush was doing his thing, but I don't know. It scares me that CD Lamb was undervalued because the dude is an absolute beast. And I don't think it takes a good quarterback to throw him the ball to be
You think he can get 100, 1,700, and 10 touchdowns? Do you think he can do that?
I don't know. I think he could be 1,000 reception or receiving yard receiver.
What's like 1,700 plus? You think he can do something like that?
No.
I think he could if he had like a Mahomes or something. Dak's great. But they just don't throw enough, right? And they've been consistently throwing less and less every year.
That is true.
Well, they usually throw enough. Now McCarthy
Kellen
wants
Moore.
to run the ball more, and so
I guess
I think of all years to sell on this Cowboy offense, this was the year. Unless you get a guy like Tony Pollard. If you can get Tony Pollard, then great, because I think he's going to get fed the ball a lot, and he's going to be active in the passing game too. But other than him, until you can see what the Cowboys are going to do this year with a completely new offense and with the new philosophy, I wouldn't want any of them right now because you don't know what they're going to do.
What did Pollard go for?
I think he went for
56.
56. Do you think that's over? Like,
I
He
know
was
he
the
was
seventh highest player on our. Which that's to be expected. You got to understand. We may not all be Dallas Cowboys fans, but this is a Dallas area league, and so like I think that's natural for those players to go higher than normal. But
that is probably true.
Yeah. That is above his. Like I try to rank it like if you were the number 1 ADP in like a snake draft, then you should probably go somewhere close to the top. And so like Justin Jefferson was the second highest player on our auction board, Christian McCaffrey being the number 1. I thought Derrick Henry was one that went super high, way too high for what I think he's going to be this year.
64, yeah.
He was the third highest player in our draft.
Jace, that's your team, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Didn't mean to throw shots. Didn't see the name.
Tell us that thought process, because that is a lot for Derrick Henry. Like, what were you thinking?
He's just saying that because Ryan Tannehill is a quarterback, and he's super hoping that an Aggie quarterback's going to break through.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
What are you talking about? We have an Aggie quarterback who's doing great. Kyler Murray's playing really good.
What?
Another thing, I thought your yellow sticky note, Taylor, would be full of basically the Cowboys offense.
No, selling the Cowboys offense. I said it all offseason.
Yeah,
everybody but Tony
steering
Pollard.
Clear of CD Lamb. You did tell me that whenever I was asking you what you paid for him.
They were going to. I forgot that he said they were going to be a more run team this year, which makes more sense now.
Yeah, but I thought he'd try to get Deuce Vaughn at the end.
My boy's wicked smart.
Who got Deuce Vaughn?
Someone did draft him, I think.
Someone did, because I was looking at him.
And not for $1.
It was for $1. Front yard.
I thought somebody had to get. Oh no, because it was one of the last picks, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was towards the end when everybody couldn't bid more than anything, and they had in their.
I thought Mahomes went for too much, personally.
Get wrecked.
Taking a shot.
There was somebody
So-
on here that I thought went for way too much, and it.
Well, Christian
Can't remember who it is
McCaffrey
anymore.
probably went for too much.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
I regret.
I think
I regret
I think-
not even going more for McCaffrey and beat Durbin.
I think
at it.
McCaffrey. I think he's the best player in fantasy this year.
Do you really?
I do not, dude. The
Yeah.
49ers blow teams out too much, and he gets taken off the field. There's no way. There's not. I'll
Yeah, but I don't
bet
In order
you
to
think
blow,
right
he's
in
now.
order to
that
blow
good.
somebody out, you have to score a bunch of touchdowns, and he's a guy.
Or your defense has to score the touchdowns.
Yeah.
But not
You-
that
okay.
many.
This is the one that I thought went for too much was Cooper Cup. And
Yeah.
Wasn't
now,
he, what?
and now
Wait,
it's
why?
starting
He wasn't
to
even
prove
injured
that he
yet,
went
really,
for
was
too
he?
much because
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
he was already injured. Yeah,
Oh no, not the re-aggravation though. He only had the slight hamstring, and then
but it's a hamstring, and like
Yeah. on a 30-year-old.
you can't trust
Dude.
anything with a hamstring.
yeah. Do you remember Miles Austin for the Cowboys? Like he hurt his hamstring 1 year, and then for the rest of his career, like he was
That was
in and out
Chase's
of.
favorite player.
I mean, I loved him, but he was in and out
Oh.
of. Like,
but I do respect a guy that can date Kim Kardashian.
dang. Another one.
That's where
But-
the hamstring came into play.
So now that who is Enron accounting department? Whose team is that?
Caker.
Yeah,
Do
that's
we think
Taker.
do we think now that he has Cooper Cup and Travis Kelce, he has the worst team in the league?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
but
he
watch
might.
out.
God, I wasn't even
Watch
thinking
out.
about that.
He's only got
Who ha-
Jamar Chase. That's his only team. The rest of his people are bench players, and then he has Derek Carr and Russell Wilson at quarterback. I think he's doomed.
Oh
Oh
man,
my
if they
gosh,
don't
he does
play,
have both of them. Because at
Yeah,
first
well,
I was thinking,
he kept logging out, and so like his thing kept bidding up,
yeah, I told you, like,
and so yeah, he got those three guys, and then it was like, and then he could just like chill the rest of the draft. He didn't have to do
Is-
anything.
is there a way to take the auto draft to where it doesn't do anything when they log out?
I've never seen that setting.
No. But
I was
one
gonna say
thing,
because like I was like they were there, they were just shutting their phones and going to a different app or whatever, and then they would come back, and then it was screwing up everybody else because like some people would be about to get away with like $5 less than what a player should have gone for, and then you would see somebody log out, and then it'd be like auto draft, like, and it would shoot them up to that $5 amount, and you're like, what the heck? But
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that
need
was
to do
driving me
something
nuts.
about that, commish.
that's the constraints that ESPN puts on you, man.
yeah,
In person,
But-
then that'll fix it.
One thing
Yeah, that's
TJ
true.
mentioned that was that I thought was a really good idea. He said that so on ESPN, whenever you're drafting, they basically make you have to they make you save enough money to where you can at least pay $1 for every player remaining on your roster. So you have $200 at the beginning of the whole thing, and we have whatever it was, like a 15-man roster or something like that. If it was a 15-man
Close to
roster,
that.
you could only pay $185 for a player right off the bat because you have to save, or 186, I guess, because then you have to save $14 to pay $1 for every remaining spot. And so what TJ was saying is, look, if I want to spend my entire amount and leave my roster like without 3 players and then just go grab those players off the waivers, I should be able to do that. Like if that's how I
Yeah.
want to budget my team to where I'm just going to not have those 3 guys and I'll go grab them off of waivers because I want to spend more money on my roster or on my starting guys, I should be able to make, if that's a mistake, I should be able to make that mistake, or I should be able to make that decision for myself. I thought that
Yeah, I
was a
agree.
really good idea that like,
Ah.
yeah, if you want to blow your entire budget on your first like 4 guys, go ahead.
I don't know if I want that kind of power.
It's literally like $6 extra with bench spots included, plus the restriction lifted.
It's not a
gonna
ton,
make
but-
a big deal.
In that,
It
in
w- it
those,
would
in
if
those,
you,
in those
like-
last few rounds, though, you can be able to like,
Yeah,
instead of getting hamstrung by, oh, I can't go up to $9 on this guy, and I totally would.
Yeah,
You can
that
you
is
can
annoying.
up that and just be like, I'm going to go up to 9, I'm going to go up to 10, and you can leave yourself without 4 spots, and then just when the draft's over, it's waiver wire time.
Yeah, when we were
Yeah.
going through the very end of the draft and everybody only had a couple dollars, and you know how there was the 2 or 3 teams that had like $5 so they could kind of manipulate who they wanted if they got nominated. Somebody, yeah, it might have been you. Shit, somebody
That's
somebody
always me.
They took Tank Bigsby from me, and I was really disappointed
Oh,
because
yeah.
everybody was
it?
going for $1 for like a whole round and a half, and everybody just kept getting their guys. Like, oh, okay, fine, it's okay to nominate him now. I don't have to hide him anymore. And then they just
Keller
$2.
took Tank from you.
Was that you, Taylor? Yeah. So hate you.
No, Keller.
No, it
did.
was-
Oh, Keller.
Keller. Fat chunks.
Okay. Hate him too.
Yeah, honestly, other than like the frustration from me having to like really fight for my players, I thought it was a really good draft, and I felt like everybody was really involved in it. Even though we had 2 guys given bath time during the draft and kept having to log out and stuff, but I
I
don't
peed
know.
my pants at the end, dude. I couldn't figure it out. Everybody kept bidding up every single person I wanted, like you, Mike Williams going for $20. I was prepared to spend like $11 on him, and y'all just got into a bidding war. Hollywood
Yeah, he was
Brown,
another
I wanted
sticky note guy there.
$8. You
Well,
guys
so
bid him up. Like every single person I wanted at the end, like Jahan Dotson, $13. Are you serious? I know he's a sleeper, but $13? Dude hasn't proven anything except that he can catch touchdown passes and get like 2 receptions a game. And he went for that. Like so many people just like threw all their last second money on sleepers instead of spending it on, higher end players that they could have gotten at a discount, like I was saying, in the 3 through 5 rounds when all those players were going for super cheap. They just decided to hold on to it and then freaking take advantage of people like me at the end.
I was
Well, that's
going
the beauty of an
to.
auction draft, though.
Yeah.
You can have completely different strategies.
Yep,
Yeah.
and that's
So
I thought I had it at first. My draft was my first 5 players I drafted, all were people I wanted, and I got them all for under budget. And then somebody bid me up a little bit on Justin Herbert just by a few dollars more than I wanted, and then the rest of the draft
I think that was me.
kicked my butt.
I was gonna
Yeah,
steal Herbert from you.
I saw you were trying to.
Yeah, I know.
was
I was
Aaron
gonna
Waller.
steal him. I was gonna steal him and try to get Mike
Yeah,
Williams or somebody
we all
else.
kept waiting on Waller.
Yep.
I
that
said
too.
Waller came
We
up
all waited.
and like I was like I thought I wanted him at first, but then the way that my money was stacking up, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to afford him. And so like I wasn't bidding, and I was sitting there watching, and like the timer's ticking down, and he's at like $5, and it got down to like
That was
3, and I
you?
was like, what
did
is
that to me?
happening? And so like I was like, I'm not letting Waller go for $5. There's no way. And so I hit it up to 6, and then it was like rapid fire after that. It was like 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
I was like, man, wherever these bids at? Like it was ticking all the way down. I was like, no way is somebody about. Was it you that was gonna get him for
It was
5?
me for 5.
Yeah, he
I got him
got
for
him.
15 instead
Yeah,
because
no way.
you did
Yeah.
that to me, dude. I really thought everybody
was
was
like-
like, okay.
I was like,
It
no
wasn't
way.
just him. Yeah, I was doing it too. I like to let it get down to the very last second, like eBay, and then just restart that shit.
I used to do
Get
that to
people's
piss
hopes
people
up.
off. Yeah.
100%.
Sometimes just crush their dreams all in one.
That's
Yeah.
another great thing about the auction draft. You can manipulate other people's spending.
Oh yeah, and
Dangerous
say,
though.
is like,
Dangerous.
yeah, I think
Oh, yeah.
That's how you end up with Leonard Fournette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think some people wait till like what Jay said, and then like multiple people click that button to like save him from going, but then it bids it up $5 because 5 people are like, oh, he's not going for that, and they hit it, and then it's like, and then you're just like, oh my god, now he's $5 over value. But
Which is why
Yeah.
there should be a way to get rid of the auto draft, just running up the bids.
yeah, that would be really cool if ESPN could do that. I have to tag ESPN.
That's what I'm saying. We with a live draft, we could control that to where it
Oh, yeah.
doesn't
Sure.
get bid up. If you're not paying attention, and just you miss out.
Yeah, it's an air
Live
horn that
draft with
goes
Nothing
off.
Savvy Sports podcast in the background. I'll set up like 6 cameras in there. Just
6 cameras.
yeah, dude, you gotta get
All
the
the
You gotta
angles.
get all the live reaction.
Yeah.
And
Gotta
and
get
just
all
like
the
the
angles,
Vrabel,
man.
just like the Vrabels, we're a dump with the door open kind of place.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Okay, I'm down now.
that would be really funny if there was one in the bathroom. Someone just runs in there like Keller or something. Just there's a massive dump in the middle of it. Just cuts
Well,
over to it.
Who's gonna wear the outfit that the one kid's wearing?
That Frozone,
Yeah.
my super suit.
Dude, it would be so. If we do a destination one, we have to come up with some kind of like 40-yard dash, or
I'm down. We'll do it.
like just something hilarious like that. Like not enough to hurt somebody, but funny
Just to
enough for like
nominate
some
the
kind
first player.
yeah, to nominate the first
I was
draft.
gonna say
pick.
for an
It's not
auction
worth it.
draft, like What's
it
the
doesn't
point?
matter. That's dang it.
Winner
That's
gets
true.
$5 extra.
Hey,
Hey,
it's
Oh,
offline.
that
We
would-
can make our own rules.
You can.
that would be super cool. Yeah.
Trying to
Okay,
win.
Anthony.
Dude ran like a 4.40 or whatever the
I,
heck
was
in
gonna
high
say,
school.
I think I still got a 4.5, 4.6 in me. So
And this is where the hamstrings get torn.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You saw what happened to Kevin Hart the other day?
Did he tear his hamstrings?
Sort of. You remember that terrible running back play for the Patriots, Stephen Ridley, back in the day? This was like 10 years ago. Anyway,
He wasn't terrible.
he was bad. Go look up his career stats. Brother was
Well,
not
yeah,
good.
he's not like a.
Okay, the average running back there. Does that make everyone feel better?
There you go.
Okay.
That's
So
there we go. Okay,
he-
now I'm
for
not
some
offended.
for some reason he's friends with Kevin Hart or something, and they were running sprints just at night in the back of an alley or some shit, and he did it on the third sprint. He like tore his oblique and something strained hamstring and all these things. He got a bunch of things that he tore. Had to go to the doctor, like 4 different
Good
things
gosh.
on his third
He
sprint.
tear an
Yeah,
oblique running.
I don't. You tell me. That's a 40-year-old thing. I'm not sure. I'm not. I'm gonna be
Man,
30.
I'm
See,
not 40.
I mean,
You tell me.
you're closer to
I'm
it
not
than
even
I am.
35 yet.
Let me look it up and see if I can get this correct. Kevin Hart.
Anthony might be the youngest one. I think you are the youngest one.
I am barely.
You're still my age, but yeah, that is.
He tore his abdomen and abductors while racing former NFL running back Stephen Ridley.
That's insane.
How do you do that?
I don't know, man.
I've gotten
It was on
wrapped on
video
my
too.
abs, but never
I think he's
torn.
running wrong.
Yeah.
Dude, he's an in shape guy too. Like he's always fit for all his movies. He's like 5'1", but dude's pretty stacked.
He's probably
Like, he
on.
trains
Goes
every
to
day.
show they're just Hollywood muscles.
And he's
They
probably
are.
on PEs, man.
Yeah.
PEDs.
All Hollywood kids were theater kids. Just remember that.
That is true. I've always said that. But what else y'all got? Anything y'all got to add to the draft that happened?
If I was to
Did
grade my draft, I'd probably put it at a B minus. If I'm
Okay,
being
we can
honest
do
with
that.
myself.
Anthony, what would you grade yourself as?
if I'm doing it relative to everybody else in the league, I think I have a pretty strong core. So I'm gonna say just a solid B because I got screwed at the end. Yeah, I have a comment to make after everybody gives their grades too.
Taylor, what do you think you grade your team as?
I mean, I like my team a lot. I think
Every year he does.
that's not true. I didn't like my team last year. But I mean, every year that we've done an auction, except for last year, I've had a pretty stout team. 2 years ago, I was in the semifinal. The year before that, I was in the final. Like last year, like I said, I got all thrown off my mojo because of Leonard Fournette. I mean, I really like my team. A minus.
You better hope your receivers hit. Or you're
A-minus.
screwed.
I mean, and that's the thing. I really like my wide receivers. I like DJ Moore this year. I think he's going to easily become Justin Fields' favorite target. Tyler Lockett, I feel like, still has a lot of juice. Like, I think he's still a very good wide receiver in this league.
Gino's going to fall off, though.
Who?
Geno Smith throwing him the ball.
I don't think so. Then
It's gonna
I
be
love the
hard for
fact that I've got
Geno to
Antonio
outperform.
Gibson at the bottom of my. I mean, Antonio Gibson as like my last flex. Like, he's the starting running back for that team. I mean, sure, it's a work share back there, but he's the guy that's going to be catching the ball out of the backfield. I like my running backs a whole lot, and I like that I have 4 of them to where I can kind of move them around.
You have good depth. What about you, Trent?
I don't know. I think I have strong running backs, but I think I'm weak in the receiver area. I got one good one, Garrett Wilson, but
You're not weak at
the
receiver.
rest of what?
You're not weak at receiver, dude. You got Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Marquise Brown.
Yeah, I know, but like Mike Williams and like DJ Chark, Elijah Moore, and Marquise Brown, they're kind of like almost like a hit or miss thing. Like Mike Williams could do what he did last year and just get hurt or do whatever. Like it's kind of liability. And then there's other guys on the Chargers that Herbert could choose to favor, but I don't know. I'd probably give myself a B minus. I don't. Some things didn't. It just didn't happen the way I wanted it to this year, and I wasn't. I don't know why I picked up Alvin Kamara for $15 that early. I think I should have just let him go because
absolutely
he could
only
come
have
back.
3 weeks.
Yeah, I know, but he could come back and be booty.
He's
Just
not going to be
straight
booty. He's still
cheese.
Alvin Kamara.
He was
I don't
booty
know.
last year.
That's just me. It might be me
That
just
whole team was, though.
downplaying it.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like I have way too many running backs that I'm not
So-
going to even be able to play them.
You think
So
you psyched yourself out because me and Taylor didn't pressure you, but since we were doing the podcast, we kept talking so much about fantasy and drafts, and you started to do mock drafts when you never do mock drafts. You always just go in blind, and you're always happy with your team. And this year, like you said,
I don't know.
my team sucks when I get out of there. I'm never doing these mocks again. You guys pressured me into all this crap, and now my team sucks, and I'm not going to.
I don't think. I think I'll continue to do what I did because, I will say last year at one point, like I was lost and I didn't know what to do, and I was like, I haven't done my homework. Like I don't know what I was
I
like.
don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's at the beginning of the draft, like, you're good. Like you don't really have to worry that much, and then once those like popular players are gone, and you need sleepers and you need like rookies and stuff, or if you want to take a shot or whatnot, that's when that homework does really good. And I don't know, like this year I didn't feel like I was ever behind. Like I was just like, okay, I can go this route now. Or like I can't remember who I lost at one point, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just go this route. But like I had plans. Like last year I got my first couple or whatever, and then I was just like, I don't know where I'm gonna go after this.
And you panic
It's
drafted
like
Cam Akers for $35.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Dude, I've never
100%
been so livid on the first Sunday in my entire. Or was it a Thursday? I can't remember what
They
day.
won
It
the
might have
whole
been a Thursday.
league. Quit
Yeah,
crying.
it's
Yeah.
true. It's true. Yeah, you should stop
Seriously.
crying.
I don't care. Cam Akers was bought for like
I
$60
care.
or $50,
How do we mute
and he
Trent?
didn't even
Can somebody
play
do that?
the first
Push the
game.
button.
How do you mute the host?
Oh,
Anthony,
Just proves
who's
anything
on,
can happen.
Anthony, on the ESPN thing, what's it got us ranked as far as our draft classes?
Oh yeah, let me get you on
If I
that
remember
Oh, yeah,
right,
that's
I
a
thought it had
good
me at-
question.
because I
thought
don't
it
think I've
had
looked
me
at that on this
third.
either.
ooh.
Da-da.
Doesn't it say projections somewhere?
Yeah, it's like down at the bottom. I'm gonna go find it right now. It says that first place is me, Big Booty Judy.
Yeah, it is.
And then last is Enron Accounting Department, which is the one we said he drafted the
Yeah,
top
they-
3 and sucked.
They already know.
Let me try to find just you guys so we can see what you guys are. Super
I'm like,
Soakers, Trent, you're 9. Taylor,
Yep.
you're 8. And
Jason's
Jace, you
right
are
in the
3.
middle. What? 3? I see him as.
What is Aaron Rodgers, right? Isn't that you, or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, I got the wrong
That's
Aaron
right.
team. Yeah, you're 3. Yeah.
How does it already have people trending up and down?
Because of the injuries.
Injuries and yeah.
Okay.
I guarantee you Front Yard Boxers has Travis Kelce. Let's see that.
So what we can take away from
Yeah, he
this
does.
is Anthony and I are undervaluing our team, and Taylor is, of course, very much overhyping his own team once again.
If you buy into
Yeah, do you
into ESPN's stuff that they use to figure out who the best team is, you know what we should do? The real measure here is go back and look at who had the best team last year after the draft. And if it was Trent, then I guess I'll shut my mouth. But I
I'm
doubt
gonna
it
go
was.
Have a look right now if I can.
I doubt it was.
Can you do that?
And his team was like juggernaut all season long.
I mean, when
Dang
it.
Snickers is the
I
money
think they
behind it, I
deleted it.
trust it.
I mean,
I don't know,
there's-
man. It's the duo, man. You can't stop the duo. I'm coming
Yeah,
for a
easy
turkey
there.
this year.
I think they delete
your
that
quarterback,
type of
Trent?
stat.
Aaron Rodgers.
As your starter?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got faith, man.
so let's see. The Fantasy Pros app projects our league.
Can you not look back at last year's
It's
projections?
loading.
But while that loads, what I was going to ask you guys, normally in every league I do, whether it's auction or it's a snake, there's always one team that you see and you're like, holy cow, how'd they make that team? The team is insane. I didn't see one this year. I don't see a team that like scares me beyond belief compared to everybody else, or somebody who just got insane value at every pick, and so it's like they're up like half of a flex player on everybody else. Did you guys see anybody like that, or do you agree that this year it kind of feels a little more balanced?
I
Feels
thought Caker
balanced.
was going to get lucky with that one, but now that two of his players are like pretty much gone, the ones that he like accidentally overbid on.
They both might only be out a couple weeks, but that could be
Yeah.
enough to screw him over if he needs those wins later, I guess.
So Fantasy Pros has Aaron's team as our best team. It actually projects the standings at the end of the season, so it has 4 teams tied for 8 and 6.
That's
Aaron's
the best.
team, it has Saquon UC, my team, and Big Booty Judy all tied
That's
at the
me.
top at 8 and 6. Then Ricky Barber and Ruggs Racing after that. Front Yard Boxers and What Is Aaron Rodgers after that.
Trent's
Fast
last.
That's a horrible
Chunks,
name.
Loud for Stroud, Super Soakers, and then the worst team in the league, Enron Accounting Department. That's one that ESPN and Fantasy Pros agree on.
Dang, Trent, how do you feel about that?
It's because I think it's 100% because I picked up Aaron, and I don't think they're high on Aaron. Like
They're all
I've
just
been-
guessing.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like I was
That's
at
what
like
we're
the
doing.
bottom one year. I mean, yeah,
I know.
that's
So, I
what
mean,
said.
like,
it's a whole
so-
guessing game.
It's not about being like, oh, you're too high on your team. I mean, I went in. So I'm probably am. I mean, everybody should be high on their team because you went into the draft with your strategy. And as long as
I
you
didn't,
stuck to
though.
your strategy, then you're going to look at your team and you're going to go, oh, I like my team better than all these other guys because it was your strategy that built the team. I like my team better than everyone else's because I went into it thinking, okay, I want to get running backs because I feel like last year that was one thing that I sorely lacked was running back depth. And so I was like, okay, I'm not leaving this draft without running backs. And I got 3 that I think are studs, and then another one who could have a really good season, who might not, who knows. And then I came out of the draft with who I think is the best quarterback in the draft. And then I grabbed receivers at a value that I think could have huge upside this year. So I really, really like my team, and I like the way that it turned out. I mean, could it crash and burn? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I like what I put together, and I'm excited to get the year started.
I think
I
the
like your
reason
team, too.
I
It's-
overpaid for Derrick Henry was because I bitched out on my own strategy of getting McCaffrey.
Got mad at
Because
yourself.
you were scared that more well, who else did you like? Was he your number 2? He's like your number 2
Oh, yeah.
running back that you like?
Derrick Henry is my number 2.
Who was
'cause
who
you're-
was bidding him up with you? Do you remember?
Derrick Henry?
Yeah. Like, how did he
No,
get
I
up to
don't.
60 something or 50,
I
whatever
I
it was?
don't think
It was
that's
like
too
60.
high.
I think that's
Well,
higher
if he
than
ends
his.
up finishing RB1, it's not too
Yeah.
high.
No.
I think he was going for $60. You didn't overpay like really that much at all. I think we're
Right, that's
overblowing
why
it.
I've
I
seen
know,
I think
drafts
it was
where he
just weird
goes over
seeing it at
70.
number 3.
Yeah. Well, I just
Yeah.
thought it was weird after Eckler went for 55 that CMC
Eckler
went
was
for
a
24.
tremendous value.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I literally won the league last year because of Eckler, and he went for 55 this year, and I think I got him for like 60 something last year or 70.
You literally won the league because of Stephon Diggs showing out in week
technically.
18 after the DeMar Hamlin.
He was showing out
The
during
DeMar
the
Hamlin
DeMar Hamlin
game.
thing.
Yeah.
He was like projected to score
Respect.
like 20 something points in that game, and then that dude died. But like, I don't. It just
How mad is the NFL? How mad is the NFL that dude lived? They were so hoping
Well,
he would die.
Well, I mean, when you have a
They were
clone
ready to
for a
cash
guy,
in on all that.
you just plug the clone in. He's good to go.
I thought it was
Yeah.
hilarious that he was up and he was good and he was totally fine, and we still had play for DeMar stuff all over the place. I was like, he's good. He's back home. He's chilling. Like, why are we still playing for DeMar? He did not die.
I mean, I did say that a
technically
DeMar
he did
Hamlin would
die.
be in
His heart
camp.
stopped.
Whether it was the same DeMar Hamlin, I don't know.
Yeah, that was the meme
there was
for
like
a
a
while.
huge conspiracy theory about how DeMar's dead, and there's like this guy that looks like him who's a paid actor now, and I was like, why?
Somebody said if all he has to do to win comeback player of the year is step on the field. He doesn't have to make a
100%.
tackle. He doesn't have to play a
Correct.
single down after that first down. Once he
Yup.
steps on the field, comeback player of the year.
I was
Correct.
actually
I
going
wonder
to ask
what
what
the
the odds
what
are.
are the betting odds are on that. It's got to be ridiculous because he can be the only option.
Let me try to find it.
He's gonna be
It's
the only one on the ballot.
Yeah, it's insane that he's even coming back, honestly.
Is it?
I mean, the dude's heart stopped on the field. Like, he died.
So did Bronny's. He's going to turn it into a career.
Okay, boys.
That is true.
DeMar
Yeah.
Hamlin,
I don't know if
minus
he
285.
His
That's
heart
it?
didn't stop, did he?
That's it.
That seems easy.
So that's like, what's a 30% payout? Could maybe... The
I
next
mean,
closest
take
player
out
is-
Just
take
like
out a
that
second
was.
mortgage and throw it on him.
100%.
Well, the next players are Tua and Russell Wilson at plus 2,000. Russell Wilson, he could be a contender if he actually turns it around, but no, DeMar Hamlin,
God.
like,
I don't know,
he really-
man. Do you see him
he
in the
really
should,
preseason?
dude.
But did you die?
Yeah.
He can say he did, though.
It got close, but
It's a good point. Good point.
Dude, that second time he hit the ground and just like out like a light, I was like, yeah.
that bitch bounced.
Really did. Oh, a dark
Dude.
horse. Calvin
Oh,
Ridley,
man.
plus
Did y'all see
3,500.
the Michigan
Not
State
bad.
guy who
No,
got
Calvin
they
hit?
won't let Calvin Ridley win it.
No.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they
They
won't.
won't.
That's throwing away
You
money
don't-
right there.
You don't get to come back from gambling.
Yeah.
Just ask
Not when
Pete
you've
Rose.
been winning. Yeah. They're not gonna let you win twice.
Yeah, turns out he bet on himself for comeback player of the year too.
Yes.
Got him.
Then he's gonna be pissed that he didn't win.
That's funny. That's super
What
funny.
if Calvin Ridley got league MVP but did not win comeback player of the year? Tell me the NFL's not rigged. What do you guys got for parlays? I mean, I've been having to hear this shit over podcasts, and y'all don't want to talk about it now?
Let me sign into my account for you.
Yeah, let's just say they got some for you. They
I
already
haven't
got
even
Trent's
some.
looked at this weekend yet.
I placed
And
some yesterday, I think, before Travis Kelce got injured for Thursday Night Football. So, this is going to be rough now because, wait, okay. I know some sports books will void an entire bet if something like an injured player doesn't play and they're on your parlay, and then some will take it off and just lower the odds. Do you guys know exactly like what they're going to do like for Bovada? I know you use Bovada, Taylor.
I think the only times that they'll move something is if it's like I know on a lot of their baseball bets, it'll say something like both pitchers have to start the game for the bets to be valid. And if either pitcher gets scratched, they'll just remove the bet, period. But NFL, I don't think they'll change anything. I mean, the line will move, but your bet's locked in wherever it was.
But when a player doesn't play, I think I'm pretty sure they take it out of your parlay, don't they? Like as long as they didn't touch the field and they weren't on the active 53 man.
No. Like if you have the
No.
Chiefs to win?
Not that I know of.
No. This is player props.
Oh. I don't know. I feel like I've had that work against me before.
I feel like I have too, but I feel like it's been with injuries. Like AJ Brown gets injured in the first quarter. Anyway, let's get to this. That was just if y'all happen to know. So this one, you guys can roast me all you want. I really don't care. This one is just
I'm
for
ready.
a crap ton of money on a $1 bet. Okay, this is for the divisional winners. I bet on all 8. Okay, some of them are wild, but anyway, AFC East. I already picked the Jets as the dark horse to win the Super Bowl, so you know I'm picking them for the division. The Bills are not that good anymore. They're worse than they were last year, and I think that the Jets, with the defense they have and a new Aaron Rodgers behind the helm, he's going to take that. So I got Jets plus 250.
Hard knocks.
It is Hard Knocks, but I said this before Hard Knocks, before they were even on it in podcast months ago.
That is true.
So I've been on team them ever since Rodgers. But anyway,
They won't make the playoffs.
I have okay, hot take, maybe not hot take.
Neither will the Cowboys.
And then this one's probably the worst bet that I have. Browns plus 340. Maybe they're going to turn it on this year. And then I have the Titans plus 275 because they're always contenders. Let's not pretend they suck all the time. They're always there. They're always hovering.
But they don't
And
have a
I have-
quarterback.
Yeah.
It's only
I
when
have-
Tannehill has a contract year. That's when a
Yeah.
team who can take to the AFC Championship game.
Well, you better hope that they're going to play really well for Derrick Henry's sake. And
They got Will Levis, right? Who got Will Levis?
yeah, but he's a third string.
I heard Malik Willis looked good during training camp, though.
Yeah, we were out on him last year too, so good for him. And then I have the Chargers plus 300, and that's looking even better now that Travis Kelce might be out for an extended period. Who knows? The Eagles minus 125, the Vikings plus 270, the Saints plus 140, and the 49ers minus 180 for a grand total of a $1 to a $5,742.59 payout. So if that goes through and anyone's listening to this, they want to throw $1 on with me, hey man, what's $1 for, almost $6,000?
The
No shit. I
the
might do
NFC
that.
East hasn't had a repeat winner in like something stupid like 15 years.
This is why
There
we
have been no
podcast.
back-to-back
Yeah.
NFC East
Yeah,
champions.
I heard it's even longer than that.
Yeah, it's something crazy. It's a crazy number, and when you think back, like it's hard to believe it's been that long since somebody's won this division twice in a row. But every single year it's got a different champion.
And Peterson doesn't have a track record of being awesome the year after having a good season.
Peterson,
Isn't that Eagles coach?
Sirianni, no,
No.
Nick Sirianni is the Eagles coach, and he is.
What happened to Doug Peterson?
He is the
Jaguars.
second most punchable football coach in the world. Number one
Are you
being
saying that
PJ
just because
Fleck.
you're a Cowboys fan?
No, Nick Sirianni is a douche. PJ Fleck being the number one. PJ Fleck is the most punchable coach in football. Nick Sirianni right behind him.
PJ, who is he coach for now? Is that
the Golden Gophers. He's the row the boat.
Dude, is that the Minnesota head coach?
Yes.
The ball guy? I cannot stand him. Every single time, him and the quarterback from Minnesota would make this little smirk on their face. It just, my head wanted to explode.
The
I could
most
not
punchable
stand
man in sports.
Oh my gosh, that would be a good series.
So that means Taylor's
punchable
taking the Cowboys in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Taylor's always going to do that. He never gives up on his
That's
team.
That's not
I
true.
know.
It's true.
I think the Eagles.
Explain
take
to
East.
me how it's a homer pick. Explain to me. I
Um,
think the Cowboys are going to have the best defense in the league this year.
That's possible.
I know everybody's talking about the Eagles, but if I've never seen everybody just gloss over the fact that they're replacing both coordinators. Like I've never seen this before. That it's almost like it didn't happen. They lost their O coordinator and their D coordinator, and nobody's acting like it's a big deal. Like whatever, you just lose O coordinators and D coordinators all the time. Yet the Cowboys lose their O coordinator willingly, and everybody acts like it's a big deal. Like I don't get it. We've got our D coordinator back, defensive player of the year candidate back, one of the best DBs in the league back. We added a perennial all-pro corner to the roster. Like we did nothing but get better defensively.
I agree with you on defense, but offense, there's question marks. Offensive coordinator, it could go better or worse, but I'm glad a change was made. And then I'm still not completely sold on McCarthy. And I think this year could be a make or break for Dak.
I think Dak's done.
I have another parlay for y'all when you're done.
I think McCarthy is just sitting here churning out these double-digit win seasons year in, year out. Even last year, losing his starting quarterback for 5 games or whatever it was, still just churning.
You had a Pro Bowler at backup.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
How dare you talk about Trent's shirt that way?
He was so good that
True.
like
we traded for Trey Lance.
Yeah, they traded for Trey Lance. It's just I think the Cowboys have one of the most complete rosters in the NFL. And I think that their changes at offensive coordinator weren't because we wanted to keep our offensive coordinator and he just got a better job somewhere else. It was because we said we think a change is needed offensively, and so we made that change. Now, will it be better or worse? Don't know yet. We'll find out. But at least defensively, I think we got better than we were last year. And I think that while everybody in the NFL is all acting like everybody should be scared of the Eagles because they drafted a rookie, I think they should be more scared of the Cowboys, who added an all-pro corner to what was already a very, very good defense. And we kept our defensive coordinator.
That's the biggest thing.
Who is an absolute mastermind on defense.
Right, and I think that's where most of your wins are coming from when you speak of McCarthy.
He had to get him there.
I just like Quinn more than I like McCarthy. That's all.
That's fine.
All right, Anthony. Give us a parlay before me and Taylor kill each other.
Okay, yeah, y'all won't agree on this one, so let's just break that ice. So we got the Washington Commanders a -7 over the Cardinals.
Keep their name?
No, they're going to be the Redskins before we know it.
I wish they'd just go back.
Can you say that?
I think you can.
Cans before you started.
Yeah, Trent, you're going to have to edit that out.
I also have under 38. Even though I know people are thinking Spencer Howell's going to be a beast, I'm just going to assume he's going to get the yips in week 1. So under 38 and out. Whatever, Spencer Howell. I don't know why I said that. Anyway,
it's like Ricky Barber.
Yeah, what was that? What were y'all calling him?
Ricky Barber. Marion Barber.
I called him Ricky
Barber. Favorite player.
Ricky Williams.
Wait,
it's why Durbin's
there was a podcast where we were talking about the Cowboys, and Trent said he reminds me of that running back the Cowboys had a long time ago. He was my favorite player back then, Ricky Barber. And I was like, Ricky Barber, who is that? And he was like, is that not his name? Marion Barber. He goes, who's Ricky Barber? That's nobody. You made him up.
Dude,
How do you confuse a Cowboys running back that just passed away and then a NASCAR movie?
Yeah, dude,
I feel like that's what you did.
After I got done, I was like, Ricky Bobby.
If you ain't first, you're last.
First, you last. That's why Durbin's name is it still Ricky Barber?
Yeah, or it was last year.
Oh no, it's not this year anymore. No, it is. It's still Ricky Barber this year.
Yeah, that's he listened to the podcast. He thought it was hilarious.
Durbin was like one of our main supporters on the podcast, like early on. So like he heard a lot of like
he's our
some
groupie.
of the funniest things. Yeah, he's our number one fan.
He's one of 3 subscribers.
Yeah, I gotta send him. I gotta send him.
We had a really good first episode. Okay.
Yeah,
we had over
I should send him a shirt on there that says number 1 subscriber and just put like a Nothing Savvy logo on the back.
Okay, next one. I think the Falcons suck, and I'm going Panthers plus 3.5 under 39.5 because they're both run first teams that I just think are going to waste clock, and then Cleveland Browns plus 2.5 over the Bengals and under 47. Last year, you guys remember what Joe Burrow looked like at the beginning of the season. Didn't look great. Took a while for the offense to get running, and the Browns have given the Bengals hell over the last couple of years. So I just think take the spread on that one. This is $1 for a $47.49 payout, 6-leg parlay. So that one's pretty believable. And then I have some player props. I'm not even going to go over those because they're 10 teamers that have over $1,000 payout. And now with the Travis Kelce news, they might be voided anyway. So I won't talk about those. Anybody else? Jace, you got an honorary one for us? Because me and Taylor used to always do this, and Trent would just come in here with the, plus 450 odd teams and stack 12 of them together, with the hopes of winning $180,000.
One day.
story of every gambler.
All back.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to hear yours, Anthony, so I could just do the anti-bet and just go the complete opposite of all yours, and at least one of us win.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. You should just bet them all straight. If I do really bad, then at least you'll be profitable.
Yeah. I may have to combine college, NFL, NASCAR, MLB, all of them.
Well,
could you imagine if something like that hit? They would even let you. I think Bovada
let
does
you.
like 16 legs or whatever.
No, they would make
So-
me go to the island to get my money and then kill me when I'm there. That's what would happen.
That's funny.
Their withdrawal
I haven't
methods
even
are
looked at them
sketchy.
yet.
Well, let's hear
Man.
some reactions, I guess, with college football this past weekend then, and your precious Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Oof, that was
You
a
don't talk
sensitive
about my
topic.
Huskers
I
like
didn't.
that.
You
You
know,
do
I think
not
you're gonna
talk about.
cry.
That's it, Jace. Next
Oh.
time you come over, you have to spend an hour in the Husker room to think about what you just said.
It's so disgusting.
It's gonna be okay. They're gonna beat Colorado
We'll hear
this
about
weekend.
this. Dude,
I don't know, they're not.
Colorado's feeling themselves a little bit too much.
yeah.
They beat TCU, who here's the thing. This is what I always compare it to. Back in 2014, I think it was the first year that the Aggies didn't have Johnny Manziel, and everybody was worried about what was this team going to look like without Johnny? How are they going to survive without Johnny? And the Aggies played a top 25, maybe even a top 10 South Carolina team in South Carolina for week 1. And it was a Thursday night game. The Aggies were underdogs big time. They were supposed to kind of get it handed to them because this was supposed to be Spurrier's best team with South Carolina. And Texas A&M went in there and just curb stomped them, like beat the ever living out of them. And everybody went nuts and was like, holy cow, Texas A&M is just as good, if not better, without Johnny. Kenny Hill for Heisman. This team's so good. And I remember thinking, but what if South Carolina sucks? Like, what if they're not as good as everybody thought they were? And sure enough, it turned out the rest of the year, if you play out the rest of the season, South Carolina was terrible and A&M was mediocre at best. And we were just an average team beating up on a terrible team in week 1 when everybody thought it was this top 10 team getting just demolished by A&M. Not what happened.
I think it's safe to say that
That's
whoever
what
makes
happened this weekend.
polls is horrible at making them. Like,
Well, they make it
should
for
lose their job.
They make it for ad bait in the early going. Like they rank all these teams high and then they rank other teams low. And then what do right out of the bat? Colorado wins one game, top 25, put them up there. They went from maybe having one of the worst rosters in college football to now all of a sudden 22nd best team in the
They
country.
moved them to the
They're
top
ranked?
25.
They're 22.
Yes.
You are
But I'm-
joking.
No,
No, and I'm surprised they're ranked that
TCU
low.
is horrible.
it's
They
and
were
like
17 though.
that's what we'll
Yeah,
find
but they
out as the
weren't
season goes
17.
on. That's what we're going to find out.
That's why-
Was TCU good? And as the
That's why
season goes on, we'll be able to answer
That's
that
so-
question. Colorado, I'm telling you, Colorado they were acting like Pat Bev. What game was that when he got traded and they beat the Clippers? It just one game though. It wasn't like a series or anything. They won one game and he starts taking his jersey off and throwing it into the crowd. He's like crying on the court. That's what that reminded me of. They were so happy. They were so excited. You beat TCU with 2 returning starters. And we're here. Not yet, you're not. That's like Texas. We're back. You're not yet.
Right.
You got to do a little bit
You're back
more
every
to
season.
be here. So
Texas is always back.
I think
That's
the
why-
Nebraska game is going to be a lot closer game than a lot of people are thinking. I think that nobody's giving Nebraska a chance. Everybody's
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that
Correct.
Nebraska's going
Blowing
to
us
get
out of the
curb
water.
stomped. It's going to be so bad. They're a
We have a
3-point
better
favorite
defense
against
than
us.
TCU does.
It's
hands
going to be a closer game.
I hope it's a closer game, but I think we have a way better defense than TCU does. Like that defense that I watched, TCU, it horrible. I mean, like 3 or 4 missed tackles, and then just a guy outrunning people down the sidelines, people taking horrible angles. In the Husker game, I was watching a defense that had done a full 180 from last year. Guys that were extremely physical and popping people, loving to hit people. Didn't see that in the TCU Colorado game on either side of the ball for defenses. So I'm thinking we come in, we pop them in the mouth a couple of times, and they're like, holy crap. Hopefully we can knock them back a couple of steps off this high horse that Dion has got him on. But like, I'm for the Colorado hype. That's awesome. Like you turned the whole team around. I'm all for the underdog story. I really am. But I think it's getting way more of a hype than it needs to have right now. Like, I don't think it happens very often where someone comes in and changes a team from going like 1-11 to a 9-win team. And like people on ESPN and SportsCenter, they were saying that they were going to get 9 wins, and I was like, that doesn't happen very often. I don't want to say it's never happened, but you don't ever see a new coach come in and just absolutely just blow it out unless the team already is established. This team
It's more likely to happen nowadays, though, with the transfer portal.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's very possible, but I don't see
That
it happening.
that excuse is dying with Dion. If he can keep the train going like he's got,
Yeah,
no
Correct.
longer are coaches going to be able to say, "Well, it just takes time." No, it doesn't.
not
Dion did
anymore.
it in 1 year. But like
Yeah.
the other thing is, there are no more Dions. Just like there wasn't another Dion in the NFL. Like there's not a Dion. Like nobody else
the
is going to be able to
closest-
hire him unless you actually hire Dion.
Maybe if
The
like
closest
T.O.
thing
went and
is
coached.
Michael Irvin.
No,
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't know.
The U needs to get Michael Irvin in there.
Right. He's got the personality that he could do it. Or like a Richard Sherman. I could see him doing something like that, too.
Yeah.
Nah,
Well, I think
not now. Now he's on. What is he on? Not First Take. What the heck's it called? The other one.
Whatever Skip Bayless's is.
Yeah, the Skip
Yeah,
Bayless
that's going to
one.
pay more than being a coach for sure.
I think it is
But
First Take.
No, that's Stephen A.
The thing with college football rankings preseason, it's always a safety cushion for these big money schools that they want to be high enough when the postseason rolls around. So even though these high rank preseason polls, if they lose, they don't always drop out of the top 25, even if they get their ass kicked by like a D1 AA. Not even, let's not say ass kicked, but get beat. Like that year Michigan got beat by Appalachian State. I wonder if they dropped out of the top 25. I can't remember. I certainly hope they did. But it's always a safety cushion, I feel like, which is why rankings kind of suck, to be honest with you.
They really do.
Why was TCU ranked that high? And just because of that, Colorado immediately gets put into 22. And honestly, I'm surprised it's that low because the Dion hype, then they came out and beat the 17 ranked team. I'm surprised they're not higher than 22.
I'm surprised they're in the top 25, but it doesn't. I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me because there were several years where there was a year where OU wasn't good, and everybody was like, "Ah, they're so good," and I was like, "They're not good." And then they went and lost towards the end of the year, like miserably to like a nobody. I can't remember if it was a nobody or if it was just someone unranked. And then Iowa did the same thing.
Wasn't it?
They were ranked like
Kansas?
number 3 one year, like halfway through the season, and I was like, "This Iowa team is not good." And then they went and lost again to someone. I think it was like Purdue or somebody, and I was like, "I told you." Like these teams are like they last in the top, but they're undefeated. And I was like, "But they're horrible." Like you can see it if you'd watch the game. You could see that these teams are not good, but I don't know. It's like they look at the scores or they look at the stats or whatever of the games, and they're just like, they're still good. They're still top 3. But if they're undefeated, they have to stay there. No, I don't believe that.
That's why I usually hate the first few weeks of college football because it's always like a top 15 ranked school playing D1 AA team.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's more risk on them because if they lose, it's super embarrassing.
Mhm.
And if you win, woo, we got one more win to be closer to undefeated. It's stupid. I don't like it.
That's why I like that Nebraska played Minnesota. I know we have
Well, you have to.
we have
don't
some
you?
bad teams coming up after Colorado. I think it's like Florida Atlantic or something like that. But
No, we don't.
I thought it was awesome
We
to
played
start the
Northern
game off with
Illinois,
a-
and that is not a bad team. Like
Is it New? I thought there was one more.
Northern
on there that's,
Illinois
like, a really
hands
bad
out
team.
L's to Power 5 teams like Halloween candy, man. Like
They beat it.
Northern
beat us
Illinois
first.
is not to be taken lightly.
I thought we had an easier one on there though.
It might be the second one that we play, but I want to say that we don't really have
Push season.
we don't get to play a cupcake this year.
No, because our fourth game is Michigan. If we
Louisiana
don't have it
Tech.
figured out by
Louisiana Tech's
Michigan,
not terrible.
it's gonna be.
Is Nebraska a cupcake?
Let me tell you, if this is gonna be a rough year
Yes.
if Colorado beats us and then
This is your
loses
first
next
time
game.
being here. You're very close to not getting invited back.
Oh no, I'm gonna miss out on more Nebraska loss talk and how we aren't actually that bad. We only lost by this much.
Hey, we're about to go on a 3-game win streak, so
Yeah, so is
Dude, if we
Colorado.
beat Michigan, I think I might just go nuts. But we are well over the time cap.
That should be the name of this episode, though. Is Nebraska a cupcake?
Oh, Anthony, are you going to start your rhymes now, or do you want to do it?
I wrote one down.
Yes, that's
Let's
what I'm
go.
talking about.
Okay, well, Trent's not going to like it. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
We have the Chiefs versus the Lions on Thursday night. I can see the Lions on their backs looking up towards the light. The Chiefs will end the Lions season early, I have no doubt. As my co-host Trent would say, you heard the man, nothing savvy. We're out.
You heard the man.
Burn.
Nothing savvy. We out.
Taking you a while to press that button.